Gemini, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of November. So, before I jump into the energy, and we have a lot going on this month, this is most applicable for your rising sign, which is how other people perceive you. It's still applicable for your sun sign, which is how you express yourself, and then also your moon sign, which is how you process everything internally through your emotional lens. And so, kind of understanding all three will give you a better picture on how the month is going to play out for you. But jumping right into the energy of the month. So on the 1st at 8:47 in the morning Eastern time, we have the new moon in the sign of Scorpio. So this means the sun and the moon, they're at the same degree point in the sky in the sign of Scorpio. So Scorpio is a very deep, intense, transformational, passionate type of energy. And so for you, this is all sitting in your sixth house. This is your daily life, your daily routines. Think of all the things that you do on a regular basis. This would not be the one-off party that you go to. It would be your kind of normal existence in a daily life. During this new moon, it's going to easily blend with whatever work you're trying to do in your career. And so the sun and moon will trine Saturn retrograde in Pisces with it sitting in your 10th house. So what you're doing right now is you're really trying to get clear on what are your career goals? What is it that really is going to fulfill you here? What is it that you want to do here? And so the Saturn retrograde, because it's that introspection of the work that we need to do here, this kind of transformational daily life impact of the new moon is really going to help you figure that out. It's really going to blend with that energy and make it clear to you what kind of career that you really want here. It is going to create obstacles or challenges to other changes that are taking place. And these changes here, because the sun and moon will square Pluto in Capricorn. So Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, it's about to leave the sign of Capricorn, but this is sitting in your house of transformation. And so when you think about all the changes that are taking place, structures that might be changing for you, just maybe your expectations, the way that you've always seen things working out, that's where I see the obstacle and challenge here. It's, I feel really good about my daily life or things that are happening in my daily life that I don't necessarily want to make other changes to this. You're kind of at that end degree point, or we all are actually at the end degree point of Pluto being in Capricorn anyway. So this is really a chapter that you're closing out. I actually like the way that this is impacting you. It's definitely one of the more positive impacts. Then we have Mercury enter the sign of Sagittarius. So that's going to happen on the 2nd at 3:18 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so Mercury, being the planet of communication in Sagittarius, which is your opposite sign. So this is going to be in your house of those significant relationships, your marriage partner, if you marry, those one-to-one relationships. And this here, these conversations that you're going to have with your significant other, they're very positive. They're very kind of expansive in nature, maybe high picture kind of discussions, like high level. Let's think about where we want to be in 5 years, 10 years, things like that. And so it's going to easily blend with how you feel about what's changing in your daily life here. It's also going to create some, not create an opportunity. I mean, it will create an opportunity for you to change some of these structures because there is a sextile to Pluto and Capricorn, but there is an easy blend of energy when it comes to taking action in your personal finances here, that Mars in Cancer, that what is it that I want to accomplish in my personal finances? Well, having a conversation with my partner is really going to help me figure that out. It's really going to help me take some sort of action here in my personal finances. So it's almost like the two of you come together on some sort of agreement on a savings plan, things like that, and now you're able to take an action to implement it. It's also going to help you get clear on what type of career that you want. So having these conversations with your significant other, again, think big picture, 5 years, 10 years from now, what does it look like? It's going to help you get clear on the type of career that you want to have. It is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to changes that are happening within you, and it has everything to do with these are kind of high level, expansive type of conversations because Sagittarius wants to grow and expand something here, whereas Uranus retrograde in Taurus sitting in your 12th house, this is just sudden changes. These would be maybe sudden realizations that are happening to you. And so it's an opposing energy. It's more like the focus is on the relationship itself and what is happening here to grow and expand it versus maybe anything that's happening to you specifically. And then on the 3rd, we have Mars enter Leo. So that's going to happen at 11:10 p.m. Eastern Time. And so this one here, sitting in your house of communication. So I like that Mars is moving out of your finances, it's moving into your house of communication. It's also siblings, short distance travel, your neighbors, things like that. But whatever this tells me that you're taking a lot of action, maybe bold, dynamic type of action. Leo likes to be the center of attention, so don't be surprised if the action you start taking puts you more front and center, or it could be something around these conversations that you're having, really putting yourself out there in a meaningful way. That is actually going to easily flow with the conversations you're having with your significant other. So when it comes to any kind of growth here, easily aligned. Mars and Leo will also make it very easy for you to get clear on your career goals. So whatever you're doing, the way that you're expressing yourself right now, the actions that you're taking, you might be stepping out of your comfort zone, but it's really helping you out with your relationship. It's helping you out from a career standpoint. It's creating an opportunity for more changes to take place for you internally. There is a sextile Uranus retrograde in Taurus. There is an opposition to Pluto and Capricorn. So whatever it is that you're doing, whatever actions that you're taking, the way that you're communicating here, it is going to be contrary to any kind of changes in structure that you're looking to accomplish. And so Pluto, planet of change, 8th house, transformational house. If you're, if this could be impacting your finances, the money that you make. And so whatever kind of action that you're taking, whatever you're going after, there could be an impact, or there could be an opposition to maybe the money that you're making, or changes to your pay structure that could be implemented here. That could be part of this whole equation. This one here, I would say probably not the best, except for that it does have some positive aspects when it comes to your relationship and getting clear on your career goals. It just feels like maybe that's where you should spend your effort and energy during this one. Because Mars and Leo will also square Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so any kind of wound you have in your friendships, or the way that you see friends, the time that you spend with them, maybe the way that you're expressing yourself right now, maybe stepping out of your comfort zone, it's going to create some obstacles or challenges to healing a wound in there. So maybe more of the emphasis is focused on changes at home right now. And I'm going to highlight it here and talk about it at the end of the month. But we had Mercury enter Sagittarius on the 2nd. Mercury is actually going to station retrograde at the end of the month. On the 7th is when the pre-shadow starts. So I'm highlighting it here from a timeline standpoint. So soon after Mars enters Leo, we have this pre-shadow begin. And then we have Venus enter the sign of Capricorn. So that's going to happen on the 11th at 1:26 p.m. Eastern Time. And so for you, Capricorn is sitting in your house of transformation, or rules your house of transformation. Venus is sitting in that house. It's transiting that house right now. Venus likes to bring things together. So when you think about any kind of structures that you have in place, whatever it is that you want to change about yourself, Venus is saying, okay, well, let's focus here on what you love. Let's focus on what matters to you, and let that be the lens through which you make decisions. And this is actually going to help when it comes to healing that wound in your friendships, the one that we saw some difficulty with earlier. This is really going to easily flow with it. Venus does like to bring things together, so it does want to help you heal this wound. Where it is going to create a little bit of obstacle and challenge is when it comes to your career. And so when you think about, okay, if I make changes focused on what I value and what I want for myself, then it's creating challenges to getting clear on your career goals or how you feel about your career. Now, because this is 8th house, 10th house energy, this could actually be connected to the money that you earn as well. So if there are changes happening to the money that you make at an employer, maybe that is going to create obstacles and challenges. Like, let's say you get a raise, but this was not the career for you. You want to do something different. Well, now you might be thinking, do I really want to do something different here? Because maybe I like the money that I'm making, and maybe this is good enough for right now. And so this is where you can see kind of an obstacle or challenge is going to come into play. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult to get clear on your career goals. And then on the 15th, we have Saturn stationed direct in the sign of Pisces. So that's going to happen at 8:21 in the morning Eastern Time. And so when this happens, Saturn in Pisces is sitting in your 10th house of career and public reputation. And so there was a lot of introspection when Saturn was retrograde, a lot of thinking through, okay, what do I need to do in my career? How do I go after the ideal career for me? Well, now it's direct. So you can put that energy out and actually start working on your career goals. What exactly do you want here? During this time, because you're going to be working on your career goals, it's going to create obstacles or challenges to any kind of personal growth and expansion that you're trying to go after. And this would be like an internal growth and expansion. It's also going to make it more difficult for you to kind of grow and expand your significant other, that relationship here. And you can kind of see why. We've got we've got the focus here not on you personally or you within a relationship. It's about your career here. And then the same day that we have Saturn station direct in Pisces, we actually have the full moon in the sign of Taurus. And so that's going to happen at 4:28 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so when this happens, we've got the sun in Scorpio sitting in your sixth house of daily routine. We've got the moon in Taurus sitting in your 12th house, which is you kind of behind the scenes, your inner self, your spiritual self. And so it's a push-pull energy of maybe the way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life, maybe the way that you feel in private. So these would be kind of that opposition energy that you can find a way to work with. You just have to figure it out. It does require effort here, probably a little bit more effort than normal. And just like with every full moon, we'll have the sun and moon having different conversations with the planet. So the sun, so how you feel about your daily life and the way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life, it's going to easily flow with whatever it is that you're communicating, this kind of bold, dynamic communication that you have going on, maybe even a creative communication, easily blend. So the way that you're expressing yourself might be very transformative, might be very deep and passionate, also kind of aligning with maybe you're doing it in a very creative way. That could be the case. We will have the sun in Scorpio opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus, which not a surprise because we have the sun and the moon. The moon's in Taurus. And so Uranus retrograde is also in Taurus. And so how you feel and the way that you're expressing yourself, these are opposite. So the way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life is opposite to any changes that are happening inside of you right now and the way that you feel about those changes. Where it does get a little bit better is when it comes to your career. And so the sun is actually, because you're expressing yourself in a very bold, passionate type of way, very, very deep, intense way, it's going to easily flow with getting clear on your career goals. The way that you feel about yourself, your inner self, is also going to create an opportunity for you to get clear on your career goals. So from that perspective, it's really positive. It's actually positive when it comes to any kind of changes that you want to make here. And so the sun will sextile Pluto and Capricorn. And so when you think about Pluto and Capricorn, what structures need to change? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to kind of keep here? It's going to create an opportunity for you to make those changes. The moon, how you feel about yourself on the inside, again, easy flow with this energy. And so both are really positive for you. So when it comes to maybe the changes that you want to make to yourself, getting clear on your career, this would be a great time to focus on those areas. And we have another one here. So Pluto entering Aquarius. This one is also really significant. So we've been kind of back and forth, Pluto between Capricorn, Aquarius, retrograde, direct, all of that this year. What this really means is that on the 19th, when Pluto enters or re-enters the sign of Aquarius at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we are now done with Pluto in Capricorn. We will not see that again in our lifetime. Pluto in Aquarius is a very liberating type of change. You've experienced this earlier this year. We got a taste of it, and now it's kind of back for the next 20-ish, just under 20 years. And so for you, this is sitting in your house of growth and expansion. And so when you think about what needs to change, what is it that you want to grow and expand about yourself, this is what Pluto is going to do for you over this time period. And so Pluto in Aquarius will sextile the sun in Scorpio. So it's giving you an opportunity for you to maybe, I want to say appreciate your daily life a little bit more, but it's kind of giving you an opportunity for you to feel some sort of passion, or the way that you're expressing yourself in your daily life is going to be very passionate right now during this time with Pluto entering in Aquarius. It's also going to trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so these liberating changes meant for your growth, they're going to easily flow with whatever changes are happening to you internally. It's also going to create an opportunity for you to get very clear on your career goals. Now, where it's going to be opposite is how you feel about your personal finances. So whatever you're trying to do to grow and expand yourself might require you to spend some money here. It's also going to be opposite Mars and Leo. So any kind of Bold, dynamic communication, stepping out of your comfort zone. So that's where it would be opposite, but it's more of that's a different type of change. That's a different type of action. Let's focus on liberating ourselves and really getting clear on how to grow and expand overall. And then we have the sun enter Sagittarius. So that's going to happen on the 21st at 2:57 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so, because again, Sagittarius is in your opposing sign, this is going to be sitting in your seventh house. So, marriage partner, if you're married, your significant relationships, those kind of longevity type of interpersonal relationships here. And so, Sagittarius is a very honest, very blunt, direct type of person. So the way that you're going to be expressing yourself might be very direct, might be very honest, getting to the truth of the situation here. And so that would be the type of way that you're expressing yourself with your significant other. And it's going to easily blend with the way that you're expressing yourself in general because this is going to trine Mars and Leo. The sun in Sagittarius will also really help you get clear on your career goals. There will be a trine to Neptune retrograde in Pisces. It's also going to create an opportunity here for you to make liberating changes for your growth. And so, again, when you think about your relationship here and the impact of this relationship, this one's a pretty influential one where you're given a lot of touch points within your life. And so you're able to get clear on your career goals, what you need to do to grow and expand. Where it is going to be a little bit opposite, not a little bit, it is going to be opposite, is Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so when you think about the changes that are happening within you, the way that you're expressing yourself with your significant other, it's just going to be opposite this. It's going to create like a push-pull type of feeling where it's either one or the other. You can find a way to make it work. You just have to find a way to make it work. And then we have Mercury station retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. So that one's going to happen on the 25th at 9:42 p.m. Eastern time. So we had the pre-shadow started on the 7th. So this is that building energy. Mercury, again, for you, is sitting in your house of marriage, significant other, those significant relationships in your life. And so where you might have been having a lot of outward conversation because that's what Mercury is, now you're going to be doing a lot of inner reflection on this relationship. What is it that you're trying to grow and expand here? Because Sagittarius is growth and expansion. And so during this time, it's going to be opposite Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, which means if you're looking to figure out how to grow your relationship, it's going to be opposite you just figuring out what you need to grow for yourself. That's it. It's like a me versus we mentality. You can certainly find a way to work with that if you want to make that true for both areas, but you just have to put the effort in here. This Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius will trine Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so when you think back to those relationship wounds that you have with your friendships, internal reflection on your significant other and that relationship is really going to help you here in those relationships, healing those relationships there. Now, it is going to create obstacles or challenges when it comes to getting clear on your career goals and even putting work into achieving those career goals. But it has a lot to do with you're doing a lot of reflection on your significant other, that relationship here. And so until you can get clarity there, maybe now's not the right time to kind of work on that from a career standpoint. So, Gemini, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.